next story could get me in a lot of trouble. Is your boss the reason for your misery at work?
All right.
What?
If the answer is yes, you're not saying yes.
Well, I can't say that on television.
No. Have you ever thought of trying to get your boss fired? Apparently, there are actually ways that such a feat can be accomplished. Getting your boss fired. Let's just let Jeff Maher, you're here with the details. What is this all about?
After what Nick said, I don't think I want to do the story. I don't want to read this.
Hey, you're
Do you think
on,
our
buddy.
bosses are
Back
watching
to you.
right now?
No.
Yeah,
What's
back
that?
to you.
Look, first off, let's put a disclaimer out there. This is not a smart thing to try and do. Okay? 90% of the time, it's not going to work in your favor because the boss has more leverage than you do. In fact, it can flat out backfire and hurt you. But there is always that 10% chance that it may work. Forbes magazine is putting out this advice. Point number 1 that they make: build on your strengths. If you're liked within your company and you're a hard worker with a good track record, you can use that as leverage against your boss. Secondly, gather allies. If you can convince your fellow coworkers to collectively make a case against your boss with you, your chances improve. There is such a thing as power by numbers. Point number 3, instead of complaining, make a business case out of it. Keep your emotions at bay, stay cool and calm, and explain to the higher-ups how your boss is costing the company money. Point number 4, network. Network with managers above your boss's level, get in good with the higher-ups, and convince them that you can do your boss's job. And the last point that they make, be patient. Forbes says most institutions do not want to terminate their senior managers. Remember that this process can take years. Now, we put it out there to our viewers on Facebook, asking you guys.
Sorry,
Wait a minute.
I got it.
Is that you?
Like, what are we looking at?
What are we looking
here?
at?
I'm sorry, we can't go on
I can't
without
do
you
this.
explaining.
That is me. It's a television pilot that I shot a couple of years ago, and where I was playing the role of a terrible boss, and it works for the B-roll.
All right.
Sorry.
It was good.
Maybe
It's hard to find the
Where I
B-roll for
want
the
this-
story.
I want that mustache back in here. Can you please find that mustache?
No, please lose
I
that
will find the mustache. I will.
right.
Let's go to this
friends,
graphic that I wanted to show for viewers weighing in on this. Do we have it? Do we have that graphic?
no,
that we
just
can-
wanna see
Thank
me
you.
cry some more.
Okay. I kept it anonymous for good reason. I
Good
promised
idea.
anonymity. But this viewer says, I thought about it once, getting the boss fired, but got myself a new, better job instead, and then she got promoted. And that tends to happen a lot in these cases. When you have a bad boss that you work for, usually the first thing you try to do is to just get a new job. A lot of people are successful with that. It's very rare that people try to get the boss fired. So, moment of truth, guys. In all of your career, in all the college jobs, everything you've done, have you ever thought about this? Have you ever attempted to get the boss fired?
No.
I have never attempted it, but I sure have thought about it. Absolutely.
Wow, no, that's never even crossed my mind. Now, I've thought of maybe I don't like my boss so much, but I've never thought that I could even sort of get the person fired.
Yeah.
Interesting, Jeff Maher.
There's a lot to think about because maybe not fired, but I have on several occasions thought I could do that. I could do a better job than that.
Are we surprised to hear that?
Yeah, a lot of people.
No,
feel
hold
that
on a
way.
minute. No.
Just saying.
All right.
But good information.
Thank you, Stash.
You know what?
Something to think about.
And in half an hour, just to be balanced, we're going to talk about how to win over your boss.
Oh,
Okay.
good
That
idea.
would be a good employee.
Are we going to talk about horrible bosses?
Yeah, we're going to talk about horrible bosses too.
The movie?
It's a good movie.
So if you missed it, earlier in the newscast, we went through some advice on how to get your boss fired.
Fired.
That was Jeff Maher did that.
Yes,
Just
that's
putting it out
Jeff's
there.
problem. But
Thanks.
there's also some ways that you can win over your boss, and we're going to let Jeff do that once we can get back in good graces and maybe keep his job today.
I hope so, Nick. I hope so. Keep my fingers crossed. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of people out there who have bad bosses. That's just a fact of life, and they can really make your life miserable. And yeah, there's a small chance that you can get them fired, but there's a better chance of you winning them over. And this is from Forbes magazine. They're putting out some advice. How can you win over your boss? Well, number one, the first step is to do your job and do it well. That's simple, but there are plenty of employees who just fail to accomplish that very basic task, and they constantly end up on their boss's radar. Secondly, be self-sufficient. Your boss needs to focus on more critical issues affecting the organization, so if you're just a workhorse and you're not needy and you're self-sufficient and you execute that on a regular basis, then you become a joy to manage, like Kiba is. Really get to know your boss. Establish how they prefer to correspond with you, whether it be in person, email, or phone calls, and ask how often they want a status update from you. Establishing good communication with your boss is key. Find out what your boss's goals are and find ways that you can help offer lighten the load. Forbes also says be loyal to your boss. Don't talk about him or her to your colleagues around the office. Don't go over their head. If you have an issue with your boss, deal with them directly. A lack of trust between you and him or her can be damaging to your career all around. Make your boss's priorities your priorities. Remember, it's a team effort. Take the initiative on projects and assignments. Don't overload yourself with them, but try to take on those projects where you won't need a lot of supervision from your boss. And the last piece of advice that Forbes offers to win over your boss is to find out what your boss likes to do outside of work, what kind of activity interests them. It's not all about work and no play with people. And when you find out what that activity is, try to take part in it with them. But I caution you that can backfire as well. At my last job, my boss loved to golf. I'm a golfer too, but I convinced him that I was a really good golfer. So he invited me out on this scramble tournament with the executives. Every tee shot I had off the drive went straight into the weeds. And he was sitting there puffing on his cigar and just kind of turning his back eventually on me, just saying, that wasn't very good.
So maybe
I thought you told me you're a ringer, Jeff.
So maybe just ask about hey, how was your weekend?
Yes,
how are your kids?
exactly.
But is there a fine line there between, being loyal and brown-nosing?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. You got to be careful about the brown nose.
Be friendly.
Yeah. Keep your distance a little bit.
Right.
That's the key, is to be self-sufficient, I think. It's to not be brown-nosing so much.
Don't be needy.
Don't be needy. Just do your job, do it well. You can win over your boss.
Jeff, Mark, good advice.
We're all in trouble then, aren't we?
We are.
Not Ashton Altieri, though.
No,
Ashton, you are not.
He does
in
a
trouble.
great job.
No, he's a good boy.
I try to be. I really try to be. Especially when I can deliver an accurate forecast, which is what we strive for over here in the weather office,